It's where most of our problems lie when it comes to feeling loved, feeling good enough, feeling less shame. And for me, I've been in that situation where you're trying to force something because you want to feel better. I've been there. I've done it. You want to hold on to this hope, to, like I said, this desperation that everything's gonna work out. I don't think relationships are meant for desperation. I don't think relationships are meant for struggle, in a sense of you're pulling teeth just to fit things together. I think they're meant to be smooth, and sometimes we've got to accept that this just ain't working. Hi, thanks for watching, thanks for clicking on the video. Just a little pre-warning of what my videos are like. Take a bit of patience. They're not massively edited. It's not this quick pace sort of video. If you do want that sort of stuff, check out my clips. I do the best bits from the main videos on my TikTok, Instagram, Shorts. Link will be in the description. But yeah, enjoy. So today we're going to talk about how to know when you should leave that relationship. And it's a deep topic, it's a serious topic, and it's a tough fucking topic to figure out. Because there's emotion involved, there might be love involved, there's romance, there's hormones, there's a lot going on. And everyone from the outer perspective can see, but us, we struggle. We struggle to get a grasp on whether we're doing the right thing or not. And I think a lot of the time, to figure out what you need to do in this situation, is it takes a lot of balls. It takes courage, it takes bravery. It takes getting a grip of yourself and snapping out of this trance that you're in to realize what you truly want. I think this is a more common issue than we know of. I think a lot of issues, we don't realize the stakes of them. But this issue, if you can't figure it out, if you can't sort it out, I mean, it affects your full life. It affects everything. If you have kids or get a house or live with the wrong person, spend 10, 15, 20 years with the wrong person, after it can feel like you've wasted your time. And a lot of the time, because we're so close to someone, we can't necessarily see the bad in them. Or maybe not the bad, but the wrong. How they're wrong for us. And I think what mainly happens is we get a bit lonely. We can't cope with the fact that we're going to be alone. Maybe sometimes all your friends around you have a relationship. Maybe you're the last one. Maybe everyone's had a relationship and you've not had one yet. And we get a bit desperate and we settle. And it's one of the worst things to do in life is to settle. Because then you're not getting what you truly want. You're not being who you truly are. You're coping in the world, and we've got to live. We can't just cope, we got to live. And it's a difficult situation because any advice from friends doesn't necessarily work, because we get insulted, we get our back up, and some people just can't tell us the truth because it's damaging, because we want to trust our gut or we want to trust our emotions. And it's one of the hardest things we can try and do is to realize when we're wrong, because it's so goddamn hard to realize when we're wrong, to figure out that we're not doing the right thing, and getting onto how you know if you're in the right relationship, how you know if you should leave or not. I mean, it does come down to, are you happy? Are you as a whole happy? But more importantly, does this other person make you feel fulfilled in life? Do they make you feel comfortable all the time? And I think there's this misconception with feeling sort of happy sometimes and unhappy other times. Don't get me wrong, you're going to have brief times of unhappiness. You're going to have times where you have arguments, where you have disagreements, but you shouldn't have times when you feel uncomfortable. You should think, right, we've had an argument. I know we're going to get past this. I know it's the argument, it's not the person. Do you feel free? A sense of freedom, a sense of you can be who you truly are in this relationship. If you don't feel like you can be that, then I don't think it's the relationship for you. And that doesn't mean if your partner doesn't necessarily like some qualities and characteristics of you, that you have to ditch them because you can't be yourself. If your true self is that if you want to be the best version of yourself, and these improvements are improvements that are suggested on you, not complete changes. And if you don't change, are they still going to be happy with you? I think that's key. A lot of people want the partners to be a certain way, but sometimes it's just a want, it's not a need. And sometimes people push a need on you. I don't necessarily think it's right for the relationship when someone needs you to be a certain way that you're not. And then the mix of, well, yeah, you can be that way naturally, and it being you. The most important part of life and thing in life is that you are being yourself. You are being who you're supposed to be in this life. And I think the way to find that out is you've got to lean on your close ones, your family, your friends, the people that truly know you. And what are their opinions? And it's a difficult one because you don't want to rely on everyone else around you to pick your life. For your parents to say, this is who you're going to be with, this is how your life's going to go. There's a limit to that. But an opinion and accepting that they can have a say, that their opinion does matter. And it does. It's not the final decision, but it matters. Because you don't want a relationship where your parents are involved, where you can't spend time at each other's houses, where when you buy a house and live together, that your parents are happy to come over and spend time with you. Why would you want a life where you've got that sort of struggle and disconnect? It's just not worth it. Sometimes things don't work out. Sometimes people aren't meant for each other. The situation doesn't allow it. It might be a great feeling. It might feel great. You might do great things. But if it doesn't fit, it don't fit. Stop putting a circle in a square hole. It's not meant for it. And give yourself a bit of value. Give yourself a bit of value that you don't have to be desperate and fall for the first person that comes for you. The first person that works. Because sometimes when you've got value, a lot of people work. A lot of people add value. And it's you that makes things valuable, makes things work. I think you've got to stop thinking about short-term pleasure and look at the bigger picture here. Because you can love it right now. But like I said, long-term, what happens to your children if your parents don't like, or your friends don't like you? You think, well, why have you not really got any friends around you? Why you not really got any family around you? All these questions that you try and avoid, or you will try and avoid, they can't be avoided long term. And I think if you start having doubts, the majority, 90% of the time, you're right. Your mindset is right. You know yourself. And I think the only exception with this, when it comes to the doubt, is if you do have everything that you want and you're just wanting more. Not that you're unhappy with your situation in a sense, but you want more. You want this person to do more. You want more out of the situation. That's, I think, when you can start considering that it's you in your mind. Whereas doubt, when it's something that you're like, oh, that could be removed, not this could be added. And it's such a difficult one, like I said, because you've got emotion involved and you can be a bit blind to the reality. Because most of the times when you step back and after the situation, you say, yeah, it needed to happen. And it's difficult because there's pain involved. And none of us like to inflict pain on ourselves, especially emotionally, because heartbreak can be so tough, because it hits us in a spot where the surrounding factors are love and care, and it's where most of our insecurities are. It's where most of our problems lie when it comes to feeling loved, feeling good enough, feeling less shame. And for me, I've been in that situation where you're trying to force something because you want to feel better. I've been there. I've done it. You want to hold on to this hope, to, like I said, this desperation that everything's going to work out. I don't think relationships are meant for desperation. I don't think relationships are meant for struggle, in a sense of you're pulling teeth just to fit things together. I think they're meant to be smooth, and sometimes we've got to accept that this just ain't working. And there's so many people out there that you don't need to be desperate. Sure, there might be the one, but I think a lot of the time we can have that feeling with a lot of people. And it's all about the work you put in when it comes to relationships. There isn't this magic fit of people. This magic fit of, I belong with you, just like that. No effort involved, no work involved. I don't think that truly exists. And I think if you clicked on this video, I think you know the answer that you're looking for. Because you don't have to search for it for the answer so much if you know you should be together. I think it's just an insecurity of the risk of separation, of the life that you're going to have to go into now. Because your life's going to change, let's say, if you've been in this situation a long time. And think, are you discussing this idea with yourself from a place of strength? A place of you're not scared or worried or anxious of the result. If you were stepping away and looking at someone else's life, would you say, what decision would you make then? Because it's so personal and because it affects us so direct and so emotionally, it's a much more difficult one to try and cope with. But I think you truly know the answer. I think you truly know what you need to do. But yeah, good luck with that if you are suffering with that issue, because I've been there where I've had those thoughts about someone, and it just takes that bravery for the benefit of you both. Let's not lead someone on in a situation that isn't good for me or them. But yeah, peace.